Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thanksgiving today in the United States of America. And it's a good and unique day. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about, I'm going to open up the lines. I'm going to have you guys call in. So drop a comment, say hello, say what's going on as we jump into this. Tell me how your day is going, what your plans are today, who you're going to hang out with, who you're going to be with. That's important. Are you with family? Are you alone? Do you need company? Let's see what we can do for you. If there's anything that could be done. So, welcome again. Generally speaking, since the Armenian flag was put up, generally speaking, this is the day that my family and I mentioned this, but it was actually on the 23rd of November where we came to the United States of America. That was in 1995. So coming up on quite a bit of years there. Obviously more time in America than anybody anywhere else, and obviously more American probably in regards to the way I process information, I think. And if anybody's got issues with that, then I would just put that down to I've lived in Armenia. I realize how much of an American I am living there. And I would have people regularly tell me, you're an American, which is hilarious. So, but hit the like button. Again, I don't know how these, like not streaming regularly, I think, and posting on YouTube does something to visibility. I don't want to jump into conspiracy land there. But it seems to me that you're not as visible whenever you do stream. So, I'm going to read a Bible passage and then we'll jump into navigating through that. Or maybe people are just not used to me streaming at this time. But it's Thursday. There we are. Here's what Scripture says. Let's move. It's a passage out of Philippians chapter 4, and starting with verse 4, because, context matters. Rejoice in the Lord always. I recommend anybody who's a serious student of the Bible to go and read the book of Philippians, and every time you come across the word rejoice, highlight it. There's quite a bit of rejoicing happening in Philippians, and that's important. So, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. Check that out. Like, dude, that's nuts. Like, let your reasonableness, also translated, that's the ESV, or gentleness, be known to everyone. Let folks know you for being a reasonable individual, not an unreasonable individual, or a gentle individual, not a rash individual. The Lord is at hand, meaning the Lord is coming. Do not, and this is the part, do not be anxious about anything. There's quite a bit of anxiety in today's day. Do not be anxious about anything, but rather in everything, by prayer and supplication. So prayer, supplication with thanksgiving. So the prayer and supplication ought to be done with thanksgiving. And what does the prayer and supplication include? Everything. So, in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. So, as we approach God, I mean, we can look at everything in our lives and in prayer and supplication complain to God about things, but rather, Scripture tells us that we approach God with thanksgiving for our prayers to be known. And so, we want to talk about that a little bit today. And then I'll invite you guys up. You guys can call in. We'll have a conversation. Mr. Pisabi is here. I am embarrassed to saying this, but I am thankful to Mr. Apologetic and Apologetic Center. Hey, thank you, Mr. Pisabi. I just want to show you something. Did you see that, Mr. Pisabi? Did you see what we have made? It feels good. Maybe you should get one. I think Mr. Pisabi maybe should think about buying a Mr. Apologetic hoodie for this winter. I'm pretty sure he's a big dude. I'm pretty sure they make your size. Go for it. I'm thankful for you too, Mr. Pisabi. You've been a good friend. Greetings and blessings, everyone. God bless. God bless you too, man. Thanks for being here. You need 4 of them. So somebody approached me. I'll announce this. People are jumping on, so let's wait. I'll announce this in a little bit. But we're gonna do something fun. Here, we'll drop the call. If anybody wants to call in and kind of voice what they are thankful for, we'll have that, like simply put, man, I'm thankful for my family. Thankful for my wife, my kids. I'm thankful for my church community. That's a big deal. That plays a huge role in my life. My church community does. All the friendships, encouragements, all of that. You need 4 of them. You got to go buy them. Since you have all that money, you can buy it. Since recently you've been blessed with money. I also want to speak about the YouTube community tab. There's some changes that have happened in the YouTube community tab, guys. As far as I understand, if you are subscribed to a channel, let me actually check this. You can now start a thread. And you don't have to wait for the creator to make a post. You can start a thread yourself. So you can share stuff yourself and then start conversations. I think that's really cool. At least that's on the back end. That's the announcement that we got from YouTube. So maybe it's still in beta or they're releasing it slow. YouTube is releasing a lot of stuff slowly. It's kind of frustrating. Still waiting for courses to be given to us because that's really big news for me. Hey, what's going on, Jerome? How you doing, brother? So what exactly happens when you die? Are you judged and then go either to heaven or hell? That's a really good question. It seems to me that yeah, there could be kind of a preliminary judgment and then an ultimate judgment. I think it's reasonable to believe that. Hey, thank you, Elijah. Appreciate it, man. Hey Alpha, I'm gonna try to keep like I sort of don't want to like heavily get like theological and stuff like that. That's partly why I dropped the link. People call in. Just want to have normal conversations about normal life, not debate theological differences, or even apologetic issues. Okay, like this guy doesn't know what Thanksgiving is, but he says someone I know tells me that Americans do on Thanksgiving is eat and watch American football. Um, okay, like no. I can almost guarantee a vast majority of Americans do not just watch American football on Thanksgiving. That they just eat. It just sounds so bad. It's like all they do is eat. Like so, like, quite a bit of people travel to see their parents and their family friends and their families. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Like so this is like a uniquely sort of American. I mean, there's one in Canada. I don't know of any other culture that has a Thanksgiving Day. And correct me on this. Like, actually, maybe we can look this up. How many societies have a Thanksgiving Day? History.com says there are 8 Thanksgiving celebrations around the world. The United States isn't the only nation with a holiday dedicated to gratitude. Here are 8 different variations of Thanksgiving tradition from around the world. Let's check that out. Okay. Canada. So Canada has a Thanksgiving. I mentioned Canada. That was the thing that came to my mind initially.
Dreaming of a new home.
No, stop. So it may surprise you to learn that Canada's first Thanksgiving celebration actually predates America's by more than 40 years. 1578. An expedition led by the English navigator Martin Frobisher held a ceremony in what is now Nunavut, I think, giving thanks for the safety of their fleet. This is considered the first Thanksgiving celebration in North America. Though, in fact, First Nations, the indigenous people of Canada, and Native Americans had been holding harvest festivals long before Europeans arrived. Harvest festivals have been around for a very long time, and it's not that they've been doing this. It's like Armenians have been doing harvest festivals. The ancient Israelites have harvest festivals. Harvest festivals are a thing in societies generally, which makes sense, right? Because you collect your harvest, and it's like, wow, this is good stuff. Like, we get to eat this year. Okay. Germany has a Thanksgiving celebration. I didn't know this. This is all new news to me. The German equivalent of Thanksgiving, not even going to pronounce that, is called a Harvest Festival of Things, which is great. This religious holiday, I think Thanksgiving ought to always be a religious holiday. Like, for example, the Canadians, right? Well, when they arrive, check this out. They gave thanks for the safety of their fleet. Gave thanks to who? Like, who are they thinking that their fleet arrived safely? Who do you think? Now, again, this is history.com. They might have a little slant against, Jesus and all that. But it's like, of course, it ought to be religious. Like, it's hilarious to me that, like, the secular version of this, like, oh, we're so thankful. Thankful to who? Ourselves? Right? Who are we thankful to? Okay, so this religious holiday often takes place on the first Sunday in October, which is often also called the first Sunday following Michaelistag on September 20. And different places mark the occasion, various dates in September and October. Okay. Churches in German cities also join in the celebration, giving thanks for the good fortune their congregations experienced that year. The good fortune. It's hilarious. Okay, let's see. Liberia. Nice. That's interesting. This West African republic may seem an unlikely place for an American-style Thanksgiving tradition, but only until you consider its history. Freed slaves from the United States established Liberia in the early 1820s with the help from the American Colonization Society, a private organization that believed returning African Americans to the country of their origins would provide them with greater opportunity, help spread Christianity to Africa, and solve the nagging problem of slavery in the United States. In the early 1880s, Liberia's government passed the act declaring the first Thursday of November as National Thanksgiving Day. Today, it's largely Christian holiday. I mean, that's hilarious. Churches auction off baskets filled with local fruits like papayas, mangoes. After their services, local families feast on the bounty instead of turkey and pumpkin. Liberia's Thanksgiving tables boast items such as spicy roast chicken, mashed cassavas, and live music and dancing are part of Thanksgiving. That sounds like a blast. I want to have Thanksgiving in Liberia. Just to add to this, Armenians have a harvest dish made with pumpkin that's very popular and predates any of this stuff, but it's a phenomenal dish. You got to have a certain taste bud for it. Japan, this is interesting. Japan's variation of Thanksgiving, Kinro Kanshan no Hi, Labor Thanksgiving Day, evolved from an ancient rice harvest festival, the roots of which go back as far as the 7th century AD during the Meiji era. The date of the festival was set as November 23rd and has remained the same since. The modern tradition of Labor Thanksgiving Day began just 3 years after World War II ended as a celebration of the rights of Japan's workers. Now that's a secular, so this is not really a Thanksgiving Day. It's, celebrated over right. It sounds more like a Labor Day, right? Today, the public observes it as a national holiday, but with none of the huge feasting you'll see on the American holiday. Instead, labor organizations, it sounds so communistic, lead events at which citizens are encouraged to celebrate the principles of hard work, community involvement. Oh, gosh. The American enemies have a hard time. I would not call it, hey, History Channel, this should not be. This should be, look, you really want to treat this like this should be in like Labor Day celebrations around the world. Like what is Thanksgiving about this? Okay. The mark the occasion, children often make thank you cards for policemen, firefighters, and other municipal. Yeah, not Thanksgiving. Norfolk Islands. This remote island in the Pacific Ocean, former British penal colony, current Australian territory. Australia was a penal colony too. Is another unlikely place for a holiday celebration with American roots. In fact, its Thanksgiving tradition dates back to the mid-1890s. So it's very interesting that out of these 8, more actually, not just these 8, 9, because Puerto Rico's in there. So sorry, out of these 8, Puerto Rico won. It seems like 2, 3, 4 have their origins from the United States. That's very interesting to me, right? Like they're saying they're different places, but then it goes back to like Americans got there and brought this with them. Grenada. So there's some Americans involved here. They continue to celebrate the holiday today, bringing fruits, vegetables, corn stalks, decorate the church, singing American hymns on the last Wednesday of November. So that's on the Wednesday. Interesting. Grenada. Every October 25th, people on this West Indian island celebrate their own Thanksgiving Day, which marks the anniversary of a joint Caribbean and U.S. military invasion of Grenada, 1983. The troops' arrival restored order after an army coup ousted the executed Maurice Bishop, Grenada's socialist leader, and put this island under martial law. So the U.S. soldiers told local citizens about the upcoming American holiday and some of its traditions. What just happened? I just lost it. Okay, hang on. So again, that goes back to the United States, it seems like. Way too many ads. Netherlands. This is an interesting one to me. It's sometimes forgotten that the English settlers who traveled to the New World on the Mayflower, some 40%, spent the years 1609 to 1620 living and working in the Dutch city of Leiden. Interesting. As a result, some have claimed that the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving celebration was actually inspired by Leiden's annual commemoration of the breaking of the Spanish siege in 1574. In any case, the people of today's Leiden continue to celebrate their ties with the Mayflower's passengers by holding a non-denominational church service on the fourth Thursday of November. Another religious thing. Man, you know, it's sort of like this whole Thanksgiving thing gives you vibes of Christianity. Puerto Rico. After Puerto Rico became a territory of the United States in the late 19th century, its residents enthusiastically adopted many of the traditions of the holiday. They celebrated on the same day and embraced the same Black Friday shopping craziness. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Black Friday. But Puerto Ricans have put their own twist on the traditional Thanksgiving Day feast. There is usually turkey, whether the roasted, seasoned, I don't know how to say that word, pavachon, or a turkey stuffed with mofongo, a mashed plantain dish. But roast pork is also a common item on the menu. Hey, pork is always good. I mean, there's ham, accompanied with more plantains, rice, and beans. Oh, I mean, look, it's completely fine for local folks. And this was written by this individual, Sarah Pruitt. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. JR says, Art, the same website also says Halloween is pagan. IP is allergic to that concept. Yeah. Wagwan Arthur. Wagwan Arthur. What's up, man? You don't like Black Friday too much commercialism, I assume. Yes, and it's I'm not sure whether you actually get decent sales because people like will upcharge and then give you a sale on it. Like it's way too much of that nonsense. But what bothers me isn't necessarily the commercialization. What bothers me is the way people act and treat each other. That really bugs me, right? Like people are like super mean to each other. Like they literally got done, assuming, right? Like this is the way. Assuming they got done thanking God the day before for all the stuff they have. And then they rush into stores and mistreat their neighbors the day after because of more stuff that they want. And as a Christian, I just have issues with that. I have a hard time with it. And so we try not to really do that stuff. Like go shopping and stuff, or if we like really need something, nowadays, I mean, you can technically just order, like there's Black Friday sales happening for like 2 weeks. You can just order stuff online. I mean, one time I think I ordered some stuff. I think I bought a TV on Black Friday and I just put in the order and it showed up to the store, put it in my car at like late at night and then left. And it wasn't crazy. It wasn't anything like that. It just bothers my spirit, man. Bothers me internally that people would treat each other for items in that way. Yeah, nowadays it's like, you had Black Friday stuff happening, and now you have like Cyber Monday, which is, again, you can buy anything you want online. So, and it's the same sorts of deals, right? So, hey, what's up? Kingdom Works Syndicate. So you can always order stuff and it just arrives at your house. It's like, oh, you need a TV, just order it on whatever, Amazon or any website, and it'll arrive. I was going to say, and I shall say now, but somebody approached me at my church the other day and said, hey, Art, I want to give some money towards buying, towards giving away some of these hoodies, some of these Mr. Apologetic hoodies, or Miss Apologetic hoodies. And so we're going to arrange that. I want to come up with a good way, fun way to do the giveaway. And then we'll do a giveaway of the hoodies. He's going to pay for all of it, and whoever wins will send me their address and stuff. We'll order it and ship it over to your place of residency, and it'll arrive. Hopefully we can do this like next week, and then you can have a Christmas gift from us to you arriving at your house. So I like them. They're comfy. Really are. So if anybody wants to come up, you're more than welcome to come up and have a conversation about, just what you're thankful for, what that looks like for you, what you do. What is it that you do on Thanksgiving? Can I say what I'm thankful for? I'm not from your. Of course, you can say what you're thankful for. I guess one of the important things to realize is, though this is a Christian, though this is American, let's just say, I can pretty confidently say like this is pretty unique, even if not to America. Like it's pretty unique to this continent. It's a good lesson for the rest of the world to take a day and reflect and be thankful for all the things that God has in his providence and grace gifted to you and to your posterity. I'm surprised the AI didn't give me like a nice answer. U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Italy has an article, I think. It says U.S. Thanksgiving resembles festivals around the world. And please, we don't just sit around and eat and watch football. Thankful for you and your efforts, brother. Been camped over here for almost 2 years now. Wow. Wow. 2 years. Jerome, I would like to say that you are the reason why I have this gray hair right here. You've given me these gray hairs, Jerome, over the last 2 years. And then some other people, like Mr. Pisabi's probably given me like this whole side of grays, but I can give you a couple of these gray hairs are probably Jerome, and then some other people have those other gray ones. He said posterity. What a word! Yes, it's a great word. Look it up, Mr. Pisabi. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate your boldness. Syrup says, did I give you any grays? I don't think so, but yesterday you might have given me some grays by your shenanigans. I got YouTube recommending videos to me from like 5-6 years ago from other people's channels, which is really cool. It's encouraging to see. Plenty of people have given me gray hairs. Let me just put it that way, man. There's been a good amount of people over the years. Did you win? So here's something to be thankful for, Syrup. That you should be thankful for the fact that you were able to play 3 games. Yeah, the ability to run those games. How did I cause you stress? Well, hey, when you care about people, you think about them often. And yeah. Yeah, yeah, probably in a good way. In a good way. I mean, dude, I would rather have my entire face be completely gray and have you guys become Christians. That is the trade. Like, that's a trade-off I'm willing to make any day of the week. Any day of the week. Hey, you guys, I need to purchase. So my internet's been giving me issues. Okay, my internet seems like what's going on is that I'm getting about a gig of internet into my modem because that's what I pay for. My router has the capacity only to output 300 of that, and recently it's been given a lot of issues. So I've been thinking about switching over to a mesh system. Now, the way essentially we'd have 2 meshes in the house and another one that would be sitting here. And then that would hopefully be enough for everything that we're doing here wirelessly. Because even now it's wired, and it's still like I'm getting a notification here that's saying that essentially this stream is not coming through with the full capacity. So I have a question for you guys. I've been looking at different mesh systems, and they need to have certain properties about them. One of them being that they got to cover kind of a larger area. But it seems to me that the TP-Link Deco XE75 Pro, which is a Wi-Fi 6E mesh system, is the one that keeps continuously coming to the surface. So if you guys use mesh systems and you know of good mesh systems that would work, that don't cause, that won't cause me or, an arm and a leg, let me know. Hey, Zach, happy Thanksgiving, man. Let me tell you, 8 teams, only 3 games. The team that won didn't want to play us. They never play against us, yet they claimed they won by goals. What do you mean they claimed? There's no claim. Like, you write this stuff down. Said, okay, we scored this many goals. You scored. Yeah, I don't know. Ivan says, for streaming, the upload speed is more important than the download speed. Yes, I know that, Ivan. And I have good upload speed as well. I think the upload speed I'm paying for is around 40. But nonetheless, it's getting it into here. So if I do a speed test right now, let's see what we're getting in here. Yeah, like the download speed we're getting in here is really, really, like, it's not what we're getting in the house, which is about like 92, which is decent. Upload wise, right now it's showing 30, 35. Yeah, 36. So 91, 36 is what we're being shown here. But also, I have like other stuff in the house, like TVs and all that stuff. Like yesterday, it was kind of lagging on the TV. My family was watching a movie and it kept buffering, which I haven't seen happen in a very long time. But we've had that router for a very long time, so it's just the question I guess I have is in regards to mesh systems, because I'm thinking about switching over to mesh system because I think it's easier and they kind of connect. They cover that, just your phone just connects to the mesh. So what's up, folks? Hit the like button as we got more people jumping on in here. The Bible passage I've shared with folks is this one. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known, or your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So, in everything, with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving. So I hope you guys understand the with there. That's a qualifier on the things that are happening. The prayer and supplication happening with gratitude, with thanksgiving. Essentially, if we're going to ask God for anything, we ought to be thankful for what we have. I mean, I see even a situation where we are thankful for the situation, even though it might not be the most pleasant of situations. And we might even want that situation to be changed. So we go to God in prayer and supplication, but with thanksgiving. So it's a sort of condition of the heart. We go to God and say, Lord, I'm thankful, but I don't necessarily want that. Yeah, I think that's a fair trait. I'm thankful because I see uses, I see positives coming out of this. But I would like things to be different as well. I think that's fine. So let me know your comments about that. The link has been dropped. It's pinned if anybody wants to call in. Just share stuff. We're in the holiday season, as some would say. And it is a holiday season. I know Christians get caught up on this whole stuff. I mean, I will only have an issue if people are like, you can't say Merry Christmas, you got to say holidays. But when you look at it, it is an entire holiday season. I mean, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have the whole Advent season. People view Christmas as like this one thing, and it's not. Christmas is a very long period of time. And so you have Advent starting, and you get Christmas, and then you go all the way up to Epiphany. You get the 12 days of Christmas, and it goes all the way to January 6th and 7th. So I hope people are actually understanding that this is a seasonal sort of thing. It's this entire period of time where Christians are reflecting on, thinking about, worshiping God in maybe a more intentional way when it comes to the birth of the Savior. So coming in about 10 minutes. Hey, JP, what's up, man? Welcome. Yeah, 4 would definitely be more than enough. We just switched to the Eero system and works very well, but we also switched to fiber optics. We now have 500 download and 500 upload. Sheesh. That's something I've had trouble fully understanding. Does seem strange to say that you're thankful for bad things. Yet you don't have to be thankful for the bad things per se, for themselves. Bad things can have good ramifications or results or consequences, and the things themselves still be bad. And I think you can still claim those things are bad, but be thankful for what's happened through that situation. And be a person who has gratitude as to the way you live your life. I think that makes sense. I don't necessarily need to say, oh, I'm so thankful this bad thing has happened to me. I mean, no, I mean, that doesn't make much sense considering that there are certain things that you just can't say that about, in my opinion. But because of what's come out of it, I think we can be thankful for those things. In heaven, we gone have Thanksgiving every day. Yeah, you don't have to wait till heaven to do that. As a matter of fact, when we pray the Lord's Prayer, we pray, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Right? So the kingdom of God is where the rule and authority of God is the rule and reign of God. And so when we pray, we say, God, let your rule and reign come here on earth in our lives. Let us fall under your rule and reign. And to a certain extent, we live out a heavenly life, and then when we die, we kind of transition into that fully. So you can be thankful and have Thanksgiving every day, here and now. You don't have to wait to heaven for that to happen. Oh, in regards to the family gathering. Yeah, I suppose so. Look at that. Nice cut, man.
Yo.
Looking good.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. I'm in another country right now, Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So, spent Thanksgiving here. We just ate. And I was like, yo, look at Arthur, man. He's a celebrity now, man. So I was like, I don't know if I'd even get a chance to talk to this famous guy,
Why
I
is
don't
that?
know. Hey, man, I saw your video with David Wood, Vocab Malone, and so or am I good?
You were lagging a little bit, but go ahead.
Am I lagging?
Just talk through it. You're good now.
Okay, no worries, no worries. I did see your video with Vocab Malone and all those guys. Very, very good, insightful video. If I were to ask you, what was your favorite part about all of that experience? What did you do? What did you hang out? What was your favorite part?
Okay, so let me just say something because a lot of people might not know this. I've been going to the Evangelical Theological Society's conferences since 2012 when I was in seminary. One of my professors told me I got to go to them to be engaged in academic kind of discourse and all that stuff. So I've been doing that for a long time. And I remember, man, this might have been like 2015, something like that. I remember coming up an escalator. And so there's two things that happened. One of them was I actually spoke to David Wood. He was sitting somewhere and I went to him and I was like, hey, tell me about your YouTube kind of stuff. And that was my first interaction with David in person. And then Nabil Qureshi saw him, prayed for him, talked to him. Saw Nabil in a Starbucks line at the event and sparked up a conversation with him. And then, I was coming up an escalator and Sam Shamoon looked at me and said, I knew Sam from his videos, but he looked at me and he said, look at this guy. He said, where are you from? And so we got to talking and he just recognized my different lookness, I guess. But so been going to these things, been interacting with a lot of people at these meetings. And because the Evangelical Philosophical Society happens and there's an apologetics gathering that happens, a lot of people who are in that world kind of gather together. So this year, like I didn't see people like Frank Turek, but usually Frank Turek is there with his whole like cross-examined crew and stuff like that. So been doing that for a long time. Like I think just social media has gone off, and then some people have obviously started going to those things. So it was my first time meeting Nate Sala. Nate's a phenomenal guy, by the way. I got to spend a really good time with him. My favorite time was probably just networking, seeing people that I haven't seen for a while. So some people I haven't seen for like a year.
Any videos on the works? Any guest appearances, anything like that?
Yes.
Any guest?
Yeah, there's a number of things that are, I think, in the works that we're going to be working on. So one of them is, me and a friend will most likely be on with David Wood and the Apostate Prophet, and we'll be talking about like Christianity, Islam, Armenia, kind of cultural Christian dynamics, political sort of stuff in that region. There's something on the this is someone else's. Someone else is going to release this, but it has to do with Christmas and a bunch of people together. So I'll just leave that there. But yeah, like number of people I spoke to about like, hey, going on the channel or coming on my channel, we'll do that. Vocab is someone I've spoken to pretty regularly, like behind us. Like I've been on his channel, Vocab's been on mine, but like we text back and forth, we talk. He'll find stuff and he'll send it to me. Like, you know, he'll go to a museum and there'll be some inscription about Armenians, and he'll be like, "Yo, check out, look what I found." And so we go back and forth like that. I think it was just overall a good time of friendship and getting closer to people. Some people getting closer with, and some people just continuing those relationships. But like there's a whole nerdy aspect about this whole thing, man. There's like some serious papers that are presented at these conferences. So
I'm not gonna tell you, but somebody in that group photo, that famous group photo that you guys took, told me that the conference is boring as heck.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm not going to say, oh, you agree as well?
Okay, so there's two conferences. Let me just, so the ETS-EPS conference, the Evangelical Theological Society conference, or the Evangelical Philosophical Society conference. Like when people are like, dude, I want to go to this, I generally stop them and say, it's a nerd fest. Like you will be sitting through like 8 to 10 hours of talks where somebody is just reading papers. And it's very, very academic. So is it boring? Absolutely. No question about it. I mean, sometimes you come out of these talks, your head's kind of like your brain feels like it was just like, you know, put in a boxing ring with like a prime Mike Tyson. And so, yeah, I would agree. Whoever said that, 100% he's right. It is boring. I don't think it's for everybody. I mean, it's, people pay quite a bit of money to go to those, but like if you don't have academic interests, and if you're not interested in sitting down and listening to academicians present papers, and academic papers are different than like I don't know, a blog post or an article or something like that. They're just written differently, and the conversations are generally different. The apologetics conference that happened on the tail end of that my friend Tyson put together, not at that level. So it's not at an academic level. It's a general kind of popular level apologetics thing happening, and we're already promoting it. Next year it's going to be in Boston, so maybe you can make your way on towards that, and that'll probably be Friday, Saturday, that conference. And I like that one quite a bit because it's a lot smaller, and then people get to interact with the actual speakers and breakout speakers and all that stuff a lot more. So
Yeah, that's what I'm a little scared of. Hopefully, it's not anything too boring, because reading papers all day is not my thing, Arthur.
no, I
Listening
get it,
to
man.
people read.
Yeah, but
You enjoy that?
The apologetics one is not like that.
You actually enjoy that? Just sitting there and listening to it?
Yeah, I'm a nerd, man.
Sheesh. Bro.
Yeah, like I'm the thing is that like I'm pretty nerdy, but I'm also very extroverted, so that helps out. I suppose if I was an introvert and a nerd, it would be a bit different.
You got any projects coming up with Mike Winger?
No, I don't have any projects coming up with Mike Winger. Mike Winger is Mike Winger's like, so Mike's very straightforward with stuff. So a number of years ago, actually, when I met Mike for the first time, I said, Mike, I want to have you on my channel. And he said, I can't. I'm working on this women in ministry video that's like consuming every single day of my time, or time of my day, because I'm just reading a ridiculous amount. And that's the video that came out, and I don't know how many hours that was, like 8 hours or something like that. But one thing Mike did do is, like, whenever I would stream and they'd be like, whatever, 3 people in my stream, Mike would jump into my streams and be like, man, I'm on my way to the gym. Just want to encourage you and say hi and all that stuff. So he's that kind of a man. Didn't really plan anything like that with Mike. Maybe it might happen in the future. We don't know. It really depends on his availability and energy, being able to do those
because he doesn't do anything with anybody. So that's the interesting thing. Like, he just doesn't do anything, other than his own channel, which is very time consuming.
Yeah, and you can imagine how time consuming it because it's not just like him making videos. I think Mike is doing quite a bit of stuff behind the scenes, and
He's
just
a
like
pastor as well, right?
he was. I don't think he is anymore. He was a youth pastor, but I don't think he is anymore. But one of the things is that, like, just emails, man. Like, when you have a channel that big and the amount of stuff people are sending you and questions they're asking you. I know he started a Hebrews Bible study. I think he's doing through his channel. So the study for those things, it is a bit time consuming, and it really depends on people. Some people operate at a different energy level than others. You know what I mean? And so I think you always have to respect that. Like, I know there's guys that don't really like doing live streams. They don't like the unknown factor of doing a live stream. They want everything to be recorded. Even themselves, like, they'll record their videos and put them up. They won't do live stream videos. And then there's other people, which I probably tend to fall on this end as well, is that it's harder for me to do a pre-recorded video. It's easier for me to jump on a live stream and just talk to people. So I think some of that stuff is personality and interest and what you like doing. And like David Wood can jump on a live stream and be on the live stream for 3 hours talking. And that's, correlates to his personality a lot more. But here's what I will say, since we got a theme of Thanksgiving. The 40-hour women in ministry series. So, okay, sorry, it was 40 hours. It was like 6 hours each or something like that. So Mike read every single book on the opposite side to do a fair review of that. Just recording it was 40 hours. But the research behind it was months and months of research. And this is partly what I enjoy. But, like, if somebody's like, I got a question about women ministry, I'm very confident. I can very confidently say, hey, go watch that entire series. because he's going to give you kind of all the background information, the debates about it, and all that stuff, and kind of you get a sifted down approach instead of you going and reading every single one of those books. And he's a fair sort of guy. Syrup says, are the Hittites ancestors of Armenians? Not to my understanding, the Hittites are not ancestors of Armenians. No. So I'm very thankful. We were sitting in a room, and again, that picture there's two pictures that went around, essentially. I think one of them that Tim Barnett put up. Tim Barnett does have a bald, bearded, and biblical shirt, I should say, with the Avengers, the apologist Avengers music going. And then the other one that was put up was, I think we had dinner with like Ruslan and Sean McDowell and Gavin and all those guys. And some of those guys I met for the first time. But being in those rooms, I was very, very thankful, man. Like, considering if you actually count the amount of people those individuals are influencing for the gospel's sake, for the kingdom's sake, I'm thankful for everyone. I'm thankful for everyone's quirky personalities because they all work differently towards different ends. There's things that obviously somebody acts and does in ways that I wouldn't. And we're not talking about sinful sort of stuff, but just that's the way they are. It's really cool. I actually turned to my friend. I was like, dude, like, look at this room. Like, there's so many people that around the world are being impacted for the gospel's sake because of the individuals. And we don't know what the kind of end story, the unwritten kind of stories or the stuff we're going to hear. Maybe generations, maybe people saying, man, my grandfather became a Christian through watching JP's channel. And now, like, that's phenomenal for me to think about. And I think that should be a humbling moment for every single one of us that do these things.
What are you most about, given this Thanksgiving, regarding your YouTube channel?
What am I most
people you've met? In regard to YouTube, what are you most grateful about it, since, we're in Thanksgiving?
Friendships, bro. So the way it's worked for me, and I don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but I can say for right now, there's friendships I've built. Like, I built a friendship with you. But there's also individuals in the comment section that are viewers, that are regular kind of people on my channel that I've actually built friendships with. Meaning, I have their phone numbers, they have my phone numbers, they can call me and we can talk. They can text me and say, Art, can you pray for me? Can you give me a call? I need some advice. Like, there's genuine friendships that have been built. Now, I don't give out my phone number to folks like that, and it takes time for that kind of a relationship to develop. But I'm very thankful to have seen people be strengthened in their faith. People come to know Jesus. Definitely those things have happened in my channel. And yeah, those are probably the things I think about whenever I'm like hesitant to do, like to jump on a stream where I'm tired and I'm like, man, I got this and that to do. I don't have a subject or something like that. I think about the individuals that get impacted in those ways, and I'm very, very thankful about that. So do you have family in the Dominican Republic?
Yeah. For me, hold on, let me block somebody. There's somebody I gotta block. Arthur, can you remove my mod just so I could block somebody? Because I don't want to block them from the channel. So just remove it for a sec. So I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna just remove my mod, and then I'm gonna block somebody, and then you can add me as a mod back. There's a couple of people I want to block, actually. A lot of psychos online, aren't there? A lot of weirdos, So I don't want to say psychos or weirdos or anything like that. Let's just say a lot of interesting characters that I have no interest in engaging.
Sure, yeah.
All right, you remove my mod?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. You did. Let me just block a couple of people. And then as soon as I block them, okay. All right, now you can add me as a mod again. It's a shame that YouTube doesn't have a feature, Arthur, where you can block somebody without blocking them on the channel when you're a mod.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. In order for you to block somebody when you're a mod, you have to get your mod taken off. And then when your mod is taken off, then you can block them. and then you would have to get mod again.
Yeah.
So, for example, Arthur, if somebody's harassing my channel, right? You won't theoretically be able to block them because if you block them, you'll block them from the whole channel.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
that's yeah, that's the annoying thing, you know. But it is what it is. But yeah, I am glad that I met you, my brother. I intend to also help your channel as well. I haven't been uploading as much, but it is interesting because this channel has been a platform of literal life and death. I mean,
Mm.
you guys have literally tried to help people from ending themselves, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And you stand in front of that. And, man, there are people that I know that tune into this channel that were not Christians,
Mm.
that tune into this channel and are. And that's something very interesting. You got to do what you got to keep doing. And obviously, your breakthrough will come through. I don't like using that word breakthrough too much because the Christian community kind of word, but your breakthrough on the channel will come by sooner than later. You just got to keep working, stay encouraged, you know. And sometimes I randomly look at your live stream and I'm like, yo, this live stream is doing good. I'm like, yo, look at this right here. Dependent on the topic, obviously,
Yep.
there's different topics, different things, but it is very interesting. I do like tuning into this channel because it's very interesting. Um, I might have to get out of here in 5 minutes because they're about to cut a cake, and I'm
So,
across
so
the
I was going to
world.
ask you,
But
do you have family in the Dominican Republic? Is that why you're there, or just like
yeah,
a?
yeah, I do have family. My
Very
parents are
nice.
here. My brother is here. Some cousins. Some.
Yeah, yeah.
So all I have is Dominican Republic, New York. That's it. I don't have family anywhere else in the universe.
Wow. So
Yeah, so
I've
that's
heard this. I haven't been to the Dominican Republic, but I heard there's some really nice zip lining in the Dominican Republic.
zip lining and third world. I mean, DR is not really a third world country, not anymore. I'd say it's second world country now.
Mm-hmm.
It was third world when I was growing up, but I would like to say that I you know,
You're not into like
I'll,
air flight stuff.
not in second world countries. You know what I'm saying? you know,
Hey, I did
you
zip
know,
lining in Armenia, and that's a third world country, and that was probably one of the safest things. Like it's pretty safe, but
I don't like taking those kind of risks. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I
No,
get
yeah.
it,
If I don't
man.
have, yeah, I don't like doing things that I could possibly die doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah,
I
it's
fall from that, it's game over.
that's true.
You
This
know?
is partly the reason why my wife. So my wife and I did a bunch of activities that were essentially like in the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of the things that we haven't done is actually like skydiving,
Mm-hmm.
and she refuses to do it
Mm.
because now we have children, and she's like, no, we're not going to take the risk and go skydiving. I'm not sure whether
Well,
I would do bungee jumping. By the way, I feel
can't
like
be
there's
both
been
for
like
you guys, man.
yeah, we got to do it one at a time. Um,
One at a time, just in case a tragedy, God forbid, something happens. One of you guys could stay behind. I mean, honestly, Arthur, I wouldn't do any of that stuff.
Jamie
It's too
said
risky.
walking in New York is a risk.
Yes, he's not wrong. If you're
Yeah.
if you're just a casualty, like let's say if you're a woman, if you're a elderly man,
Mm.
if you look like a victim, you will be victimized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is that why people
So
in New York carry themselves the way they do?
someone like exactly because the people that carry themselves that way, nothing happens to them. So for me, when I walk around, um, when I walk around New York, I walk around as if I'm gonna do something to somebody. Like in my mind, you have to get in the mindset, and this is unfortunate. This is unfortunate, but it just is what it is. But in New York City, when I walk around, I'm of the mindset, and you have to be. If I see a migrant, I'm gonna get him before he gets me. And you can't be friendly. You
Mm.
can't be smiling around. You can't. Listen. It's beautiful having the love of Christ, but I can have the love of Christ and be assertive. It's very nasty out here, Arthur. It's very nasty. They've plagued communities and things of that
Are you
sort.
saying this is like a recent
Particular
change?
areas and yeah, yeah. The migrants in New York. Yeah, it's a terrible thing, and it's something that has plagued the streets of New York.
Because last time I was in New York,
So
so
if
I've
you're
been to
somebody that
I've been to New York a bunch of times. By the way, I've been to New York and Jersey.
when was the last time?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Um,
Was with the migrant situation. The migrant
yeah,
situation with
so
the buses
before
and all
that
that.
stuff, so it's in the 2010s, I would say. You know what? No,
Oh no, New York
2000.
was
The
gold.
last time I was in that area was 2018, late 2018. I was in Philly, New York, Boston. I did a little trip. I spoke at some churches, raised some funds for our trip to Armenia in that area. But yeah, that was interesting because like I even like there's a really big pub there in New York. It's owned by one of the former Liverpool players called Carragher's. So like I went there, watched a game with a bunch of fans. I've never had an issue of people. I don't know. Like I never felt intimidated or threatened or anything like that.
Not anymore. I mean, it wasn't like that back then.
That's interesting.
Now, now you gotta keep an eye out, man. Those migrants, man, they're very, very. It's dangerous, bro. It's really, really dangerous. So
Would
you
you
just
say
gotta
these
be
are
careful.
migrants from a specific place or just
Venezuela,
generally?
uh, Venezuela. They're,
Ah,
they're the migrants from Venezuela. So they've come to New York. They've kind of taken over. The government, pays for everything for them and things of that sort. So you have to be very careful when you're out there. But Arthur, let me get back at you. I'm gonna tune in and watch because I
no
gotta
doubt.
get back in there. You heard?
Cool, man. Yeah, yeah.
All
Enjoy
right,
your
man.
time with your
Take care.
family, bro.
All right, brother. God bless you.
Thank you for calling. Man, JP, have a good time, man. Thanks again for jumping in here and sharing. So, hey, we got Nick in here. Nick says, there is a 1 second delay between y'all. Just heads up. Okay, thanks. Walk with your chest. Yeah, that's. I saw. Let me see. Let me backtrack here. Some of the comments. Anything you can do as a tourist, it exists in the Dominican Republic in the good and the bad. There it is. I'm thankful for my friendship and my conversations with Arthur. All the love, JP. Hey, same here, Nick. Seriously, learned quite a bit from you, man. I said Nick, and my phone thought I was talking to it. When I was in Ethiopia last year, we saw a zipline area. We had kids with us, so we couldn't engage. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Is it your first time on my channel? Yeah, hey, Kevin. Me too, so I don't know. I don't know what the changes are. Whoa, man. Correct. Jamie Carragher owns a pub in New York called Carragher's. One of the best match day experiences I've had at a pub has been at Carragher's. Packed to the brim. It's huge too. Phenomenal atmosphere. So if anybody's a Liverpool fan, you end up in New York, go to Carragher's, watch a game. But here's what I will say. You got to show up like 2.5 hours early to get a spot because it gets packed. So I showed up like 2.5 hours, 3 hours early, took a seat at the bar, had a phenomenal time. It's brilliant. I've tried, so whenever I'm traveling and there's a Liverpool game, I try to find a Liverpool pub that I go to and watch games. Did it in Boston. I don't remember whether I did it in Philly, but I did it in the country of Georgia. That was really fun. So it's always a really cool experience. My dad went to New York for the first time in the 70s, stayed at a church in the Bronx. There was a dead body on the front step when they woke up. Wow. Hey, Hike, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I have a chat with ChatGPT about the rise of Islam, Armenian Christianity that I think you'll like. Email it to me, info@apologiacenter.com. Arthur somehow just made the conferences sound better than I thought they were. You're a nerd. You would probably enjoy it, Jerome. Okay, here's this is what I wanted. Ivan's he said 4 would definitely. I think I read this. Yes, I did. Yeah. So the one I was looking at actually was it's three of them, but I might have to get 4 of them. We'll see. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Gabe. I know. It's your 3rd time. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for being here again. I hope that you enjoyed. Enjoy our broadcasts. So, folks, hit the like button. The Bible passage we're reflecting on today, ladies and gentlemen, is this passage. This is out of Philippians chapter 4. It says, rejoice in the Lord always. Notice it says rejoice in the Lord, not just rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness or your gentleness be known to everyone. That's very important, you guys. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything. And again, anxiety is a thing that a lot of people struggle with nowadays. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. So let your prayers and supplications be done with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. So go to God, be thankful, have gratitude towards the things that God has given you and blessed you with. Yondell, drop in the big super chat. Thank you, brother. Peace and blessings to you as well. Thank you. Appreciate your showing love, man. Really do. I love that scripture Agape says. Hey, so do I. Maybe I need to do more like devotional readings with you guys. Let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in, where we have like kind of maybe like a 30-minute or 15-minute stream or video. Well, I suppose that might be something that I can like just record and just put up like 10-minute stuff. I don't know. Jokes aside, I'm not sure if I could deal with being around people like that for several days. Gaming events are not a problem for me, though. Wow, that's Jania's favorite passage. Look at that, man. Is it Jania or Yania? I don't want to say your name wrong. Do we pronounce the J? Or is it just Yania? I should. So there is a promise attached to this passage. Okay, so let me just. Okay, we got to get all nerdy now. I'll get nerdy with you guys. So notice what's going on here. There is a promise attached to this, and that's very important. So, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So essentially, when you do this, if you do it this way, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, right, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Here's the one thing that I hear from people often when they interact with Christians. It's Johnny, yeah. Okay. Quite often, one of the things I hear is people saying to Christians, like, wow, there's something different about you. You have a certain kind of calmness or a peace about you. That's actually led quite a bit of people to the Lord, because they've seen that. They've seen these people in really intense and tense situation and said, man, like, what's different about this guy? What's different about this girl? And then they've inquired, and the person said, hey, you know what? Like, I love Jesus. I'm a follower of Jesus. And then that conversations happened. So it's extreme. And I'm not saying this like you don't have to act the part. You should not be acting the part. That should be a natural byproduct of your life, and people observe that. And then they go, man, I want that too. Honestly, I'm thankful for all the online ministries I found this year. Wow, that's cool. I've been learning so much. Some channels have truly been a blessing, including yours, Arthur. Thank you so much, Agape. I appreciate that. I will say that I would have loved to listen to Ortland's talk if it's what you said it was. Yeah, it was good. I think Gavin's talk was really good. It would have been... Gavin and I had really cool conversations, sort of privately, like at the dinner table, but we spoke quite a bit. But it was like historical stuff that we were nerding over. So, is that for Israel or the church? Is what for Israel, for the church? Should we fake it until we make it? Definitely not. No, look, this is an individual promise. Right? So that passage we were just looking at, look at that. So I entreat Euodia and I entreat Syntyche to agree in the Lord, because these are two individuals who are having, I think they're two sisters maybe, that are having issues, which is crazy, right? Because we still have this in the church, people having issues with each other. To agree in the Lord. Yes. I ask you also, true companion, help these women, they are women, who have labored side by side with me in the gospel together with Clement and the rest of my fellow workers, whose names are in the book of life. Rejoice in the Lord always. And so this is personal, right? Again, I'll say, let your reasonableness. And finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. So this is definitely for the church, not Israel in any way. And again, when I say church, I mean individuals in the church. This is for Christian believers, people who love Jesus. Maybe one of the problems that we have. What just happened? Hey, can you guys hear me? Because I think... I'm seeing something pop up on my screen that says preview mode, and I don't know what that's. Okay. That's really weird. I don't know what this preview mode is. Well, on my screen, I'm seeing something that says preview mode. That wasn't there before. And then it says when I hit back to live mode, it says, do you want to publish before returning to live mode? I don't know what the changes are. Okay. Hopefully nothing will get lost. Let me actually try something. Okay. Okay, we're back. Oh, man, I thought I'd lost you guys for a second there. I was just going, I wasn't paying attention to anything else, right? Like I was just saying what was on my mind. And then I realized there's a giant yellow thing on there that says preview mode. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah, so here's what I'm saying. Maybe sometimes when people look at a Christian's life and they realize there's no, that peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. Like you guys get what that's saying. This is a sort of peace that goes beyond the way we understand peace to be. When somebody's not observing it in a Christian's life, maybe the reason for that is that the Christian is actually not doing what this text tells us to do, which is go to God, and not be anxious about anything, and that with everything includes everything, in prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, give that to God. Go to God. And so there's quite a bit here. And I love the fact that, verse 7 goes on to speaking about the heart and the mind, because these are two places where anxious things happen. And notice how, let's break this down. So notice he says, do not be anxious about anything. And then he goes on to say that there's a peace that comes, which peace would be the opposite of anxiety. When you're anxious, you are not at peace. But if you do this, then that anxiety will not be there, the peace of God. And this is a peace that surpasses all understanding. And then it speaks about it guarding your heart and your mind, right? And that's very important because both I think you can think about those things both being in the place of the will. So if you want to think about the heart as the place of the will or the feelings, the emotions, versus the place of the intellect and thoughts, will be calm, will have peace about them. So it's a holistic way of thinking about it. So just be encouraged by that, you guys, especially as, it's what time is it now? It's 1:40 right now on the West Coast. And some of you guys are probably getting ready for dinner and all that stuff on the East Coast. But that's the way, ideally, that's sort of the way a Christian's life should look. But don't just expect that to happen. Don't just expect like, oh man, why is it that I don't have this kind of peace and all that stuff? My response is going to be, well, are you spending time with God? Are you investing into your Christian life in all the ways that you ought to be? Maybe the reason why you're not seeing that stuff is because you're not doing that. That's definitely a possibility. Trying to find what my upload speed is. You guys tell me if you are, you understand, you get what I'm talking about. The Mr. Apologetic, you know what? I got to promote this stuff, man. I forget to do these things often. Hey guys, one of the things I've been doing is encouraging friends I have and Christians just generally, churches as a matter of fact, to to essentially support the ministry. So you can do that by going to patreon.com/Apologia Center, and then you can become a supporter of the work that we do. So again, I for me, it just takes a bunch of people to give a little money. Like if we got a bunch of people to give $5 or $10 a month, which is not that much, then this ministry will be fully funded. Like dead serious about that. So consider doing that. And if you have churches and your churches need training or whatever like that, and you guys are interested in that, reach out to me. Would love to see how I can be a blessing to your church and your community, group of friends, anything like that. The other thing I wanted to do was the Teespring. Actually, so if you go to our channel and then you hit store, you're gonna see this stuff, and you click on them. So these are the ones that this is the one I'm wearing essentially, but that color. So if you hit that, it's gonna take you there, but you can change the color. So that's what I have on right now. Now you might want to say, well, this one's $45, by the way, and then the other one, this one is $50. That's because this one has way more print on it, front and back. It's got that on the back. And so this comes in 3 colors. It comes in that, red, and white, if you're interested in that. And all for all the ladies, we got that for the ladies. And the one I'm wearing actually doesn't have this. But the rest do. So we're waiting for my wife's. It's supposed to arrive, so this is the one I got for her. Are you in full-time ministry? Hey, brother, I'm in. This is a full-time ministry. Apologia Center is a full-time ministry. So it's not just a YouTube channel. I train people in apologetics. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. It's full-time, but I'm not being paid for full-time because we don't have the funds for paying full-time. We get some money out of it, but it's not full-time money. And I have another ministry I'm involved with, and I do that full-time as a job as well. And then I'm a teaching elder at my church. But ideally, what we would like is that this ministry becomes full-time in all the ways. This ministry also functions in Armenia, and we have a team in Armenia that I work with and lead. So, again, one of the things I've been doing is like sending out emails, talking to people, pastors, and saying, "Hey, would your church get behind this ministry to support it until, you know." One of the cool things about YouTube is that if you do it well enough, it could actually become self-sustaining and generate enough revenue where it covers all the costs that you would need. That's one of the cool things about YouTube in regards to ad revenue and all that stuff. You can actually grow it to a certain extent where people could still be giving, and you can hire staff and all that stuff, which we'd love to do. But yeah. Hey, Yandel, is it your first time on my channel? Do you use a separate app to stream like OBS or VMIX, or just do it directly to StreamYard? I don't use StreamYard. I actually use Ecamm. Ecamm Live is the streaming software that I use. You spoke of people approaching you and seeing something different about you and inquiring before. How many times has that happened to you? It's happened quite a bit of times. Like it's happened to me in the midst of situations where people would have thought I would lose my cool and lose my control. or not be at peace about. Like I will handle situations. Generally, this has to do with family members because they'll observe me in a situation and then go, wow, like you're very cool about what's going on, and so I'll look, man, I trust God, and here's what that looks like, and I'll explain it. But I mean, it's not like people on the street aren't going to come up to me and be like, wow, there's a certain kind of peace about you. There's always been a reason why people have thought I shouldn't be in that kind of a peace in that situation where the conversations come up. Now, it has happened where maybe people have attacked me or something like that, and I haven't responded in likeness, and then people have seen it who don't know me and said, wow, that was very interesting. But it's happened quite a bit to me, and it's happened to a lot of other people that I know. It is your first time. Dude, thank you, man. Your first time you show up here and you drop a super chat. Really appreciate it, man. You came from Vocab and Radar's channel. Both of those guys are stand-up gentlemen. I like them quite a bit. Yeah, I was just checking the communities tab, and the video that YouTube sent me is wrong. Like I don't know what else to say. Like supposedly they said if you're a subscriber to a channel, you should be able to post on the communities tab, unless I'm missing something about this, and I don't think I am. Strange. Very strange. Man, I know I got a number of videos that are older recorded videos that I'm re-releasing. I think I'll probably try to release one of those today. And then so I got to record. So, hey, it's been a pleasure. I think I'll call it a day, you guys. I'll leave this up. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. If you're alone, I don't know whether there's enough time today. Like, be with some people, call up some friends, even if that means you go out for dinner. If you have the ability, and there's some people in your church that are alone, and you have the ability, it might make sense that you call them and invite them over for dinner tonight. I've done that on a number of occasions. And be a blessing to other people. Loneliness is something that a lot of people have a hard time with in our culture. Breeds anxiety and all that. And I think this is a way, even if those friends, especially I would say if those friends aren't believers or whatever like that, man, sheesh, man. Thank you for that, Yandel. Appreciate it, man. Really do. Big ups to you, man. So be a blessing. Bless those around you. Invite them into your community. It's not just the gospel we preach, you guys, but it's also the gospel we live out in the presence of people. You might be preaching the gospel. You might have been preaching the gospel for years to someone, and it might take just you inviting them over for dinner for Thanksgiving or something like that. That'll really get them to see that love that is in you. That's from Christ and what he does. So don't ever lose sight of that stuff. These holidays, these things are an opportunity for you to do that to your neighbor, to those around you, and even people in your churches that might be just lonely. So with all that said, God bless you guys. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Even if you're Jerome in England who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, he can be thankful in his heart. If Jerome was here, he'd be at my Thanksgiving dinner. Let me put it that way. and that'd be special. Yeah, I was hungry and you gave me food. That's true. So God bless you guys. I will see you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be streaming tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Watch out for some videos that are going to come out. And it's always advantageous for you guys to share those videos out and let people know about the work that we do here at Apologia Center. Take care. God bless.